Hi guys! So today, this is a little bit of a different sort of video. It's basically I'm moving obviously, and I've got some Euphorbia that I want to sell, but just because they're too big to transport, I've had them so long, I just want to get rid of them, so I'm going to sell them. But I did want to take some propagations from them beforehand, so because I do still love them, the ones I've got are too big, and yeah, I'll show you in a moment, but they're quite big. But as I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, I actually don't really know much about Euphorbia. Like, I've had these for 6 years, maybe, and I mean, they're fine. They're looking very sad at the moment because they were kind of shoved in a corner for a while with not much light, and I kind of forgot to water them, and then all the leaves fell off, and yeah, they're looking a bit sad. And that's probably why I want to get rid of them as well, actually. Kind of bored of them, like. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So I wanted to do some research on them. Two of them, I'm pretty sure I know the varieties, but one of them I don't have a clue. So I wanted to do a bit of research on them and see like what they are and sort of the type they are. And I know a lot of people say they're not cacti, they're succulents, and I've always kind of known that, but I don't really know why, because they look like cactuses. I don't know. But yes, so I wanted to bring you guys along. I was going to film a video from propagating them anyway, because I do already have some propagations from about a year ago that I did off of one of them, and they're looking so cute. So I wanted to do some more before I sell them, so I still have the plant, they're just not so big. So yes, I am going to start with sort of just looking up about them, see what they are, what makes them succulents, that sort of thing. So it is a informative journey for both of us. I've always don't want to be that person who on YouTube just pretends to know everything, because I'm not, and it kind of, I feel like a lot of people feel like they need to know everything, and you don't. I mean, you can be into plants, you don't know everything, you don't know all the names, you don't know all the care, like things are gonna go wrong, and I just want to be very transparent. And you know, I don't know everything, my plants die and stuff happens, so I just want to, you know, put that out there. I found this site about Euphorbia, and I'm going to read up about it. I'll just read out the sort of basics that it says on here. Don't really need to go into depth. I always, whenever I get a new plant and don't know about it, I'll do some research on it, and I'll just sort of skim read the basic sort of requirements for that plant and things like that. So I'm just going to run through that view. I'm not going to read all the ins and outs. So we'll start with the first bit on this website. Why isn't Euphorbia classed as a cactus? I have no idea. So, cacti have areoles, which are cushion-like bumps that form on a cactus's flesh. This is where the spines, new growth flowers, and more grow from. This is a feature that only cacti have. Euphorbia are mistaken for cacti because they have growth that looks a bit like cactus spines. Okay, this is why I always thought they were cactuses, because they have the spines, and this is not true. Spines on cacti are modified leaves, whereas the growth on the Euphorbia are thorns. Okay, so they're not spikes, they're thorns on Euphorbias. Most Euphorbias grow leaves. Two of mine that I've got grow leaves, the other one does not. Okay, some more succulent species have leaves that are smaller, more compact, short-lived than traditional leaves we think of. Okay. So, I'm still a little bit confused, but we'll go with it. Okay, so stem succulents like Euphorbia have adapted to use their stems to absorb energy for photosynthesis, rather than leaves, which allows them to hunker down and store as much water as possible within their stems while still being able to produce energy and food. Many succulent euphorbias can also use CAM photosynthesis. I don't know what that is, but this process is uniquely suited for desert environments to help plants to minimize water loss while the sun is up. Okay. So that's sort of like the overview of why they are not cactuses. I guess they're not spikes, they're thorns, they grow leaves, all that jazz. So they're quite similar, they are just cacti that, yeah. I don't know if anybody else knew all this already and it's just me, but every day we learn. So, general care for euphorbias. I kind of already know this because I've had mine for quite a while, and I've kind of learned on the go, but I will give you a rundown of what this is saying, and I guess I'll find out if I'm doing it right. I guess I'm doing it right because mine are still alive. We'll see. Well draining soil, don't like to sit long in moisture, and they are prone to root rot. So that I'm doing right. I let them dry out before rewatering and then I'll soak them through again. Last time I did let them dry out for way too long, they lost all their leaves. So try not to do that because they will lose their leaves. You've got to I found they like to be dry, but not too dry or too dry for too long, because otherwise their leaves, the ones I've got with leaves, the leaves will crisp up and just fall off. Light, they like sun, they like full sun to bright indirect light depending on the species. So mine, I have got 2 of mine are in indirect light. They were in probably too low of a light over winter, but they are back in sort of a decent indirect light. The propagations I've got I've been in direct sunlight for hours and hours of the day, and they are thriving. They have grown so much in the past 2 weeks. It is mad, so I can account for that. They love it. My other one, which I don't know the idea of, we'll find that out later. He didn't really grow when I had him in indirect sunlight. As soon as I put him in the window, he started growing, and I had him for probably about 4 years and he didn't grow at all. And yeah, put him in the window and he's just gone mad. So for mine, I would recommend direct sunlight. They seem to grow better and grow faster. And the colours, I found Euphorbia, the colours are beautiful, and I'll show you when I show you mine. They get really beautiful colours and sort of variegation areas, and those are more vibrant and more pronounced when they are in direct sun. So that's my experience from mine. I don't know about anybody else's. Obviously it depends on your climate and your sun that you have in your country or wherever you are. So I would recommend that. So it says a pot with good drainage should be chosen. Ensure the plant doesn't go soggy. Yeah, I would agree. I did have some cutting and I actually gave it away to one of my friends when I left uni, so I want to take it back with me. I had that in a terracotta pot and it loved it, I'm guessing because it dried out faster. So you could try out a terracotta pot as well. They seem to like those. All of mine now are in plastic, like nursery pots and then cover pots. So they're doing fine as well. It just depends on your care and what you prefer to use, I guess. And if you're a heavy waterer, then probably terracotta's best. I'm not really. I let mine dry out a lot until I water them, so mine are good in plastic pots. But if you tend to be a heavier waterer, I would, you know, put them in terracotta just because it helps to dry out the soil a lot quicker. Euphorbia, are they pet safe? They are not pet safe, but that's like a lot of plants out there, they're not pet safe. If you do have pets and they're prone to eating things, I would, you know, and you've got plants, I would always look up the plant and check, because obviously you don't want to make your pets ill. So they are not pet safe. So now on to the species I've got. I'm going to show you what I've got first, and then I will try and find what they are. Two of them, as I said, I'm pretty sure I know what they are. They're fairly common. And the other one, I don't know. I've seen them about a lot, and they kind of look like the owl, like the white ghost ones you get, but I can't remember what their name is. But it's not a white ghost. Anyway, let's have a look. I don't know. So we will start with the first two, which have had the longest. These I bought from a local floristry where I am. I bought them, it's probably longer than 6 years ago now. It was probably 7. Oh my god, have I been having plants that long? Yeah, it's probably about 7 or 8 years I've had them. Obviously they were smaller when I got them, but they have slowly grown over the years. For some of those years I was at university, so like 3 of those years I was at university, and I left them behind and they were just sort of chilling, and they did get neglected a bit, so I didn't really look after them much in that period. So yeah, and the last probably year they've kind of been pushed to one side. I've kind of forgotten about them. But this one I have looked up, and I'm pretty sure it is Euphorbia Triangia. I think that's how you say it. This is just the green, like normal green form, I think. And they do usually have loads of little leaves on them. Mine have fallen off because I've really neglected it and just didn't water it for ages. And they do dry up and crisp off and fall off and blah blah blah. So what I will say, these are really easy to propagate, and I'm going to show you how I propagate mine. But I love them. They're so weird and wacky, and they always grow so wonky. Like all of mine, you'll see they're so wonky and weird. Like they always go off to one side. But he is beautiful. He is so big now. So this is the first one. I'm pretty sure I've got the ID right. If they're not right and you're watching this, just comment below, because I'd actually like to know the names of them, because I've had them for years and I've just sort of just looked after them. I've never really thought much into them, not really looked much about them. So yeah, I would really love to know if any of you know out there. Just please let me know. This one, she is not in her best state. We will just say that. And I'll show you the cutting that I've actually been looking after opposed to the large part, and you'll see the difference of how it does look when it's thriving and having a great time. So this one is the same as the other one. So it's a Euphorbia Triangia, and I'm probably saying that wrong, but I will. But it's a Rubera. Hang on, let me have a look. So Rubera, if I'm saying that right. Sorry if I'm not. This is like a red form, and when it's in direct light, like as I said earlier, when they're in direct light, the colours and everything are gorgeous. Like this will go like an orangey, like a purpley, deep purpley red. It is beautiful, and you get all of the little leaves coming off of it, and they're all red and purple as well, and they are honestly beautiful. So yeah, these aren't great examples of this plant because I have just neglected it. But yeah, they are really fast growing as well. I would recommend. This is another wonky lad. Like So I really hope whoever has these next actually really looks after them, because they deserve it. They are beautiful plants. I just have fallen out of love with them a bit. I've started to like them when they're a bit smaller now, so hence why I'm gonna propagate them and then sell these large ones. So this is from the same plant, but I've got 3 little ones in the same pot. I don't know, is it gonna focus? Probably not, my camera does not like to focus. So as you can see, like on the top it's more red, and then as you go further down it's a bit greenier. But like, look at that purple. I don't know, can you see? Oh, they're just, you can tell I love this one a lot more than the large one, but they get all these little leaves. This one I kind of neglected as well over winter, and it kind of lost all of its leaves, and now the new growth is starting to get it back. But yeah, they are beautiful. Like you can see from over the last few weeks, they have started growing. They've probably grown about this much, these two. For some reason this one's not doing anything. He's just sort of chilling, but when they do get more mature, they obviously get all the little cute little offshoots, little babies coming off the side, which I can't wait for this one to start doing that. So yeah, you can see, oh, they're so cute. So this one I don't know the name of, and I've kind of got an idea. It looks like the ghost ones you get, but I'm not 100% sure. So I've looked up, and to me this looks like the Euphorbia Lactia, like you get the white ghosts. When I'm looking up Euphorbia Lactia, it's coming up with like those coral cactuses. Obviously that's not what it is. I don't know, can somebody, if somebody's like watching this and they do know what this plant is, can you like let me know, because this one I'm keeping, I'm not selling. I absolutely love it. And I would really actually love to know what the name is of this one. I really do love this one, and yeah, she really needs a clean actually. But this one, this one I probably had about 4 years, and was it 4 years? I can't remember. It's been a while, and it didn't really do much, didn't grow. Bought this one from Kew Garden. This one I didn't have in a window, it was in indirect sunlight for ages, and it just didn't do anything. It didn't grow at all. I still loved it because I just really love this one. It just didn't do anything, and then I put it in probably about 6 months ago. I put it in my kitchen window, and in the afternoon, so probably from 1 until 5, 6 o'clock, it gets like direct sunlight, and I didn't realise it. I then got like, it was growing, it started growing, like all of this is new, and it did start growing. I was like, oh my god, this is great. And I just sort of thought, I didn't really think anything about it. I got fed up of being in that window. It was kind of in the way. Couldn't put my blinds down, so I moved it, and then I'll see if I can, I think I took a video of it. So around a month ago I had this, moved it from a south facing window, and put it here, and I obviously didn't actually look at the side that was facing the window and that was getting the direct sunlight, and I just turned this round just because I like to rotate my plants so they get colour on all sides, and look at that colouring. And it's been hiding all this time and I didn't realise. That is, it's always been like a really dark colouring, and now I've got to put it back in the window now so it's yeah, it did so much better in that really bright light. So yeah, I'm putting this one back in that bright light because I want it to grow a bit more over summer. Just because I love this one, it's so cute. I'm not going to propagate this one. I might do a like further into summer when it's a bit more, when it grows a bit more, but at the moment I'm really happy with how it looks. And yeah, I just want this one to stay how it is. I'm not selling it, so I don't want more of it. I just want one of them, whereas the other ones I'm actually selling, so that's why I'm propagating them, because I do still want to keep some of it. So yes. So now I'm going to, I'm just going to like prep some soil and stuff, and then I will show you how I propagate them. They're super easy. So for propagating, I always start with I just use like scalpel, like paper, like a paper scalpel, just because I just have them lying around. Make sure it is nice and sterile, because you're making an incision, you don't want to transfer anything. So working out, I need to like prop these up so you can actually see what I'm doing. Or should I get on the floor? I'll get on the floor. So as I was saying, you've got your sterile scalpel, and then you can see, I hope you can see, you've got all of these little arms, call them arms, that are coming off, and then you just sort of, you work out which one that you're going to want to propagate from, and I don't know which one I'm going to do. Don't know if I want a shorter one or a longer one. I think I'm going to go for a longer one. So if I do, I think I'm going, this is such an awkward video. I'm going to do this one because he is very long, but I will show you an example of where you should cut. I'm going to take multiple propagations from each one and put them up together like I did with my other cuttings. So for example, I will show you, I'll insert a clip afterwards and show you like where to cut and things. So if you look at them, you can see where it joins at the cactus. You basically want to do a sharp and very like clean cut along there. So I'm going to do that now and I will show you. There we go. So that's one cutting, and oh, it's dripping on me. And as I said earlier, you get they call them the African milk plants. So you can see here, the camera is not focusing again. You can see here it's got that sap on there. It's like sticky. So with this now, and I'll do it with the rest of them as well, you need to leave the ends to callus over, because that'll help them to not rot when they're in the soil, because I'm just going to soil propagate these. Yeah, it'll just help them not to rot. So just leave this. I leave mine just on a window ledge to callus over, and I'm going to take a couple more cuttings off of this one now. I'll show you an example from one of the cuttings I took earlier, and that has now calloused over. So this is one that I took earlier, and I would usually use a bit of a smaller planter, but this is the only size I've got at the moment, so it will have to do. And I'm planning on putting quite a few in one pot anyway, so it won't be too bad. For this one, I'm going to be using my light and airy mix. It's very similar to what I use for most of my other ones. It's a mix of, mine's really simple. I don't like to overcomplicate it. I know a lot of people on YouTube have all these different things that they mix together, but I don't really. I just buy your everyday household potting soil as a standard base, and then I will add things depending on the plant. So I'll buy that. I'll buy a bag of just pure orchid bark. I'll mix those in together. I put a lot more orchid bark than soil in, and then I will mix it in perlite and charcoal as well. That's just to make it a really airy mix, and then I always have some left over because that's just sort of a standard potting mix. Go with all of your plants, and then I always have extra orchid bark, perlite and charcoal as well, so that if I am potting something up and I need extra orchid bark, or I want to make it more airy or a bit more dense, I can alter that standard potting soil that I use to fit each plant. So that's what I go off of. Everybody does different things. That's just, you know, my standard go-to, how I do mine. So I just fill up a little pot with some soil. I just scoop it up out of there. I don't pat it down because you want to be able to get the air in there to make it easy draining. You don't want to compact the soil in. You then get your little cuttings and you just, I use with my finger, make a little hole in the soil and then just pot them in. And I'm going to pot multiple in this same one, but I need to wait for the rest to callus over. I'll put a clip in later on of how it looks after. So yeah, this is as simple as I do it. I will then, once they are all in here, I will then like water them all the way through so the soil's nice and wet, and I will just leave these in probably bright but indirect sunlight. And yes, we will see how they go. So they've all potted up. I forgot to film myself actually potting them up, but they're all done. And yes, I actually, after I cut them, I forgot to put this on film as well, I dipped the ends in some ground cinnamon. So I've just got like your everyday ground cinnamon you can buy in the shop. I've been sprinkling it on top of my soil at the moment because it acts as like a fungicide and gets rid of fungus gnats. Why do I always call them gants? They're not gants. But yeah, so I dipped the ends in there just because it helps as a bit of a seal as well and stops rot and things like that. So it just helps for cuttings, and I believe it's actually like a bit of a hormone for rooting, so that's good. And it's all natural, so it's good for the plants. So I did that. I didn't do it on the original cuttings I've done, but I just thought I'd try it out this time. So this is what they look like all potted up. They look a bit funky at the moment and they're a bit wobbly, but yeah, they're gonna be super cute. They do look a bit funky at the moment, but once they're like rooted in and they start growing, they'll look really cute. And then this is just a normal green one. I don't actually have a cover pot for this one yet. Not quite found one. Yeah, they look really funky. I've done like different levels of cuttings as well. But yeah, I really hope they start rooting soon and they start growing. It is summer, so hopefully it'll be nice and fast. But yes, well, all done now. So thank you all so much for watching. If you've made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. Love to hear from you all, and get in touch if you know what these are called. Yeah, that would be great. So thank you all so much, and I will see you in the next video.